Hey everyone, welcome. Thank you so much for being here with me today. My name is Dr. Shine, and you are now listening to the podcast of Journey of a Healed Success Stepper. I'm so grateful that you're here with me today. I'm going live today because I wanted to share with you kind of like what the ins and outs of this channel is all about. So come on in. Thank you all for being here with me today. You can join me on all social media platforms under Dr. Shine. If you look that up, you'll see me on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, of course, Facebook, and there's a few more. I can't remember right now. So basically, what Dr. Shine is all about is looking at the mission of the dark night of the soul, going through the challenges, going through the struggles, going through, persevering through those hardships that life's us with, okay? And the game stepper's goal, see, we're success stepping over here. We're stepping over all of those enemies' tricks and traps that would normally set us up to be a failure. Because if you think, someone asked me the question, what is my definition of a dark night of the soul? The dark night of the soul to me is what I experienced when I awakened to trusting and believing in someone very, very close to me, and having them lace me, and having them and me rebelling against what chemical was inside of me. And I end up facing 32 years of my life that was just there, just off of a regular, random, everyday scenario. And so that was my dark night. And it was a challenging night. It was a challenging awakening. It was something that I never would have even thought or imagined that I would have experienced with the professional levels of thinking and acting throughout my life, been a civil servant forever. But the reality of that question, what is my definition of a dark night of the soul, is when you awaken to it. See, there's one thing when you're going through it, but if you don't stop, you'll awaken. And then you'll see it for what it is. You'll recognize it for exactly what it is. And then that will inspire you or entice you to do one or two things. You're going to retaliate, which is not a good thing. Or you're going to get back up on your success game and keep doing what you intended to do. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. So with that being said, everything that I've experienced has been for the betterment of my high vibrational self, the physical nature of what life has given to me. I apologize, my neighbor is cutting grass. I hope you can't hear it, but give me 1 second. The major focal point of what I experienced in the dark night of my soul was awakening to the reality that people were really envious of the path in which I chose to go and take for my life, because they were not taking that same path of, just walking down the path of education, walking down the path of entrepreneurship, walking down the path of believing in myself, self-confidence building. People weren't trying to do all that. They were just like the basic regular. So the people that were around me at this particular moment. But then I started feeling like, we've always been taught that you're no better than anyone else. So just because someone chooses not to go down that path that you're going down doesn't make you the grand wizard of, telling a story or demanding that somebody do this or that. You just lead by example, and it's just natural to you. So depression, anxiety, grief, loss, all of that plays a significant role. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It plays a significant role in what it is that you yourself are inspired by doing. And it's really sad because other people can see your shine before you could see it. Other people can see your destiny before you even start out on the journey. You're just starting out on the first step, and here they go, the sabotagers, the annihilators, the, I don't know. It's just so much. It's so much. So as we work through the dark night of the soul, we go through challenges and you start to seek out areas that you can heal from. And so that's what takes place. You begin to show up for yourself and you say to yourself, oh, I got to get this right. I fell big time. So my goal now as Dr. DRorinashine is to go through the processes of understanding that this scenario took place and that I needed to be accountable for my behavior. And even though a lacing took place and there were certain things that I was not purposely involved in, it came with the territory of, alcohol use and marijuana use, and people feel that they can do whatever they want to do, fine, but in my case, I can't. I cannot. And this world is changing so dramatically until it's like the lack thereof of things that are happening around the world, the loss of certain financial streams of income, being in what some people consider recession. I don't believe that at all because currency is energy. And if you can get up and do something, then you have the potential to make whatever it is that has been lost, But anyway, as I go through my journey, I'm here to let you know you're not alone. And I know there are some people out there who have just lost a loved one, who has just realized that they've been cheated on, who's just realized that the very best friend that they thought was their ride or die has now turned out to be a snake in their lives. I mean, these things are genuinely a life-changing event that awakens us to something that, I don't know, a lot of people just don't want to see the reality of what it is, How do you feel being in a relationship with someone for 12 and 15 and 20 years? You're comfortable with that person, and then lo and behold, you find out that they're doing some things behind your back that you would never allow if you had have known it. But then a lot of times people save face. Welcome, everyone. They save face, and the next thing you know, they just get out there and deal with it. They face it with like a badge of honor. Is that the way that they're supposed to go? It's up to them. Many people on the outside looking in of any situation can judge that person, but without knowing their financial situation, without knowing their emotional situation, without knowing their connection to their higher power, no one will ever understand what that resembles on the inside looking out, because that person may have made a vow to themselves. That person may have said, okay, some people, they really focus on high value of virginity. And then they meet this person, they get married to this person, and this person is not a real, true, genuine person. And they come in to just destroy the ideology of what that person felt about their belief in who they were, what they brought to the table. So they get into a relationship, they get married, then the next thing you know, the infidelity starts to take place. That's when that person who held so much virginity, of like belief in themselves, whether they're a male or a female, that is very harsh to deal with. When you realize you've given all you have to the person you've married, and they turn around and then they just destroy everything that you built for yourself. And this is why I tell people, when going through the dark nights, it is easier to have that certain person there. But the reality too is that that person may feel entitled at the end. When you finally get through your dark night, when you finally understand why you had to go through it to learn the lesson, people who are there, they will begin to tell you, well, wasn't I the one that was there for you? And then you start to believe with something outside of yourself once again. And that becomes triggers to emotional connection. And the individual may be genuine, but no one should be genuine and authentic when they are saying to themselves, don't you remember I was there? Don't you remember what I did for you? Why bring that up? Did you do it from the heart? Was it something that was involving, really helping that person, or was it something that you were waiting to gain from the counterintuitive aspect of what this person has gone through? These are the triggers that I want you to think about as a success stepper. See, I started off with emotional healing solutions. That is my graduate thesis. That is the very thing that made me recognize who I am. And if you want to learn more about the 12 steps that I speak of that helped me come bring my whole entire beingness back to life after having such devastating dark night, then you could go over to YouTube under Dr. Dorina completely, Dr. Dorina. You put it all in one word, DRDORINASHINE, all one word, lowercase. No dots, asterisks, zeros, anything, just all letters. Then you'll see, subscribe to the channel, then you will see what I've done in the playlist. Scroll over to the playlist, look down, and you'll see the 12 steps. And I take you through each and every one of those 12 steps. And these are the 12 steps that are different from Alcoholics Anonymous, but they were generated from that process of Alcoholics Anonymous. But the alcohol was not my problem. What happens if you don't even have to get up and go to a liquor store? You don't even have to get up to go to the dope man. Your addiction lays right in the bed with you every moment of your life because of anxiety, because of trauma, because of anxiety. And that's what it was, because of anger. Life has life so hard and so consistently. The enemy's playbook, I know it by heart because I've experienced every single thing that literally took place during the journey. And so with that being said, sometimes you got to do it alone. I wrote What's on Your Mind on Facebook today, where over at Dorina Saunders, because that's my other page, it's me, but that's my married name. But as I was writing it, I said, sometimes when life gives you lemons, you got to make lemonade. And you got to do it better you got to make the brand better than Country Time. I don't know if you remember, for those of us who grew up in Country Time stages, those little crystal lemonade drinks, and you just mix it with water and, yeah. But back to that's what a person must do when they're going through the dark night. They must recognize that they have the power within them. But where does this power come from? Where would you gain the power to exist when you've been knocked down, you've been cheated on, you've been lied to, you've been manipulated, you've been just devastated? You find that higher power within yourself. And again, you become your best friend. See, and this is where Dr. Dorina resides, within the heart space of what Dorina has gone through. Because Dorina Saunders is a replication, an example that you take what life embarrasses you with Whatever life embarrasses you with, that is your testimony. That is your belief system to acknowledge that you're going to get yourself out of it, that you're going to make yourself holistic. You're going to do a practice that is going to make you feel more inspired after life has, conjured up some negative emotion and then thrown you out to the wolves. You start leading the pack. You become the wolf pack leader. These things are real. Lacings, hidden jealousies, envies, just because somebody's walking a path. And you have to do it on your own, and you are not going to get a big audience either until you've shown up for yourself and you have validated everything within that self, and you don't care whether they show up or not. See, if I'm the only one in this live, I could care less, because I've had viewers of almost 600,000. I've been there and done that. So right now it's about me. And that's what I meant when I did that video. When life gives you lemons, you brand that. And when you brand it, make it better than every brand known to man, whether they want to believe it or not. Because you've been invested in yourself. You have become the investor of your success. And that's a powerful place to be. It is so powerful that you got to show up for you every single day. You got to make that move every single minute. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here, guys. It's a wonderful time. This is my first live on drdorinashine, and I am super elated. I have my Emotional Healing Solutions program where we talk about emotions and the 12 steps and what really gets us through these dark nights. I'm also the author of Universal Messages Reloaded, where we talk about the moon phase and emotion and how those balance and tie in together with the reality of what we believe, how we feel about who we are. And then I have the Scales to Success LLC business development course, where we take ethics and principles, morals and integrity, and we tie them into the growing ages and stages of your new entrepreneur idea and business, and make it authentic. Get your LLC, get you connected. But it's not just having the number, and it's not just building an EIN. It is how you're going to treat your client base. Are you all about money, or are you about the manifestation of the passion that you hold within your idea? So I take you there. I take you on a journey where, you show up for yourself. I continue to remind you to show up for you. And there's a certain type of etiquette that a person must have to be a leader of education and business in order for that to take place. Now, I don't share, all the details or intricate workings of what I do with my business, because there's a lot of duplicates out there. There's a lot of copycats. And so you won't see me online with 1,000 people in a chat, because this is a personal journey. And I believe that when a person is going through their personal journey of growth and development, it should never be plastered on a course line where people can find, oh, this person, Ken Williams or Burnett Brewer, is doing a life course. Let's find out what's happening in her world. So then people fake join your page, and they want to manipulate and be your friend, and they want to lie to you about certain things, and then they want to slander. So confidentiality is very, very important when it comes down to you learning the ins and outs of who you are. And you're just going to have to intuitively feel if the person is real or if they're playing the game for a little bit of change. You got to know the difference. I will never reach out to you. And if someone does reach out to you, it is just out the clear blue. It is because they are scammers. So please don't buy into that. You can come over to Dr. Dorina Shine at any time. You can click on a link, or you can email me at shinedorina@gmail.com, and someone will get back to you, my advertisement team or my commercial team or my scheduling team. Someone will get back to you and they will schedule you, and we can look at pricing and we can look at consultation services, and that's just how we do it here. Because there's so many scammers, we have to limit how we advertise over here. Intellectual property is something that you're going to see grow within you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for being here with me today. You are now rocking with the Journey of a Healed Success Stepper podcast live on Facebook. I'm Dr. Dorina Shine, and I'm so grateful for you to be here. So not only do we have the Universal Leadership course, where we take you on a life process of, finding out who you are and how you came to be, sharing your story, and getting really, really deep into the intricate workings of how that story is going to be produced to the world based upon how you want to introduce it. You are always in control in every single one of my courses, whether it's Emotional Healing Solutions, Universal Leadership, or Scales to Success, LLC Business Development. You will always be in control. I'm also doing an ebook that will be coming out very soon. I've given myself a 30-day kind of space to get that written up. So I'm devoting that to myself because I deserve that. I am copyrighted at Youngstown State University in the Graduate Studies program of the Criminal Justice Department, where my Emotional Healing Solutions program graduate paper is acknowledged. And that's where my 12 Steps to Emotional Healing Solution comes from as well. Also, I want to just share with you that through life, when we go through those dark nights, it would be easier to have someone who's just there to comfort us. But there comes a time where you have to be the comforting source with your higher power to get you through that. There are also going to be, I'm going to give you some gameplays from the enemy's playbook right now. And as a success stepper, what you're going to have to do is learn how to bypass and sideswipe these areas. So once you have awakened and you see yourself for who you are, and you want to start to believe in yourself, and those people who are saying, "Oh, I don't think you should do that. You messed up already. You've already made a big mess of your life. It's best that you just do A, B, C, and D." But it's something your heart just doesn't want to do. You don't want to be the basic. You don't want to be the norm. You want to educate yourself. You want to elevate yourself. You want to become a better mother. You want to become a better father. You want to become a better sister or sibling or whatever. And your mind tells you to keep going, but your body is saying all those around you don't want you to elevate to that level, because if you do, they'll lose out. They're comfortable with you as you are. But if you feel within your heart space that you need to elevate, you do just that. Because if not, you will ruin the remainder of your time by believing that you were just okay based on that they had a better understanding of who you were than you did. And that's not what life is about. Life is about exploring, expanding, going through different areas of life and graduating or not graduating, but it's about you exploring and seeking open ideas, And once you do that, you find that you have such great assets to yourself. Another thing is when you finally get to where you are, you're at your winner's table, you're sitting there, you're extremely happy, life starts to life again, because you know, for every level, they say there's another enemy's play area. They'll start to talk about your character. They'll start to defame you physically. Oh, you look like me, being who I am. I'm my own person. So just because my title is assumed to need to wear a suit and all that, I'm not doing all that. I've been there and I've done that. I did that before I was even a doctor. I did that at the basic stage. So in your mindset, you're already who you are. So if you want to wear a scarf, if you want to wear locks, if you want to wear no makeup, if you want to cut your hair and wear it blue, green, purple, however you do it, that is you. That is authentically you. It is something that you desire for yourself. Remarkable. Remarkable. So I want you to always remember that as you go through your challenges, your life-changing scenarios, and this is an advertising opportunity here. So I am presenting myself to the world live on Facebook right now. And if you are interested in contacting me, I'm going to be putting some of my coursework out there on some other social platforms so other people will be able to embrace. Thank the Scales to Success LLC Google interactions. You guys are really tapping in. Thank you for the phone calls. Thank you for all of the emails, the questions. Keep those going, because what it is doing is helping me to see what is going to be in the ebook. The ebook is represented by where I am right here, right now, through hindsight inspection. So I had to go deep within myself, even when people were telling me that I wasn't accountable for my behavior, because I refused to, admit that I chose to be laced with horrific drugs. And I mean drugs that basically could have swiped me out. I was almost dead. I was left for dead. But the Most High said that there's so many other things that I need you to do for me. So I promised the Most High that if God and my success team gave me the opportunity to build that self-confidence and awareness of who I was, once again, I will never drop the ball ever again. So this is how the Success Steppers, through the Shiners podcast. The Shiners podcast was all about, when you are realizing and you're waking up through your challenges and you see certain things and you think you're crazy and you're not, but you don't have anybody to bounce this stuff off to, you become a shiner. Because the shiner is saying that through all the adversity, through all of the heartbreak, through all of the devastation, I'm going to keep going forward. I'm just going to keep forward focused. And that helps you build that self-confidence. That was the very thing that allowed me to build the self-confidence that made me aware that these things were happening, and they were happening around me, and they were happening through people that I had so much faith in, that are not even here today to even embrace the success that I had to fight through. And that's another thing that happens. When you brand that lemonade, when you brand it, you may have to be the only one that's the advertiser, the promotion specialist, the speaker, the host, the co-host. You might have to, push out things by yourself, for yourself, until the right people show up, because they will. They will. You just keep telling your story. You keep empowering yourself. You keep inspiring yourself, because a lot of people will never understand where you've been. Why? because it's not their story. They're not supposed to. No one's saying, welcome everyone. Thank you for being here. You are now tuned in to Journey of a Healed Success Stepper. I'm Dr. Shine, and I'm so grateful you're here. Thank you, thank you. I'm just sharing in on some of the ways that I have learned how to empower myself through the dark night. And every last one of us who are human will go through that dark night. And sometimes we'll have to go through it alone. So you have to have those keys that are going to get you through them. All right. So I thank you so much, guys. Again, if you want to reach out to me, please do. You can email shinedorina@gmail.com. You can put your name in the subject line and what you need from me if you are looking for the Universal Leadership course, if you're looking for Emotional Healing Solutions Recovery Program, or if you're looking for the Business Development Project as well, or if you're looking to be on the list to get the ebook when it comes out. So I'm so grateful. It's a wonderful time, and I can't believe I finally made it. And now it's just heaven on earth, because there are certain things that just won't be able to bother you the way that it used to. Have a good one.